SRS Normandy or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the original codes in the front of it are. But as they mentioned, it's a pretty fancy ship, especially for space. And as you may have just seen, this game is notorious for really bad texture pop-in. And I'll make fun of the elevators later when they pop up as well.
But, I was
gonna say, yeah, we do have some major pop-ins going on here.
Oh, you have no idea. No idea. Oh, right. Considering how to play this game. So what this game did that was actually kind of cool compared to a lot of other games at the time is it is technically a shooter RPG. There's a bunch of numbers running behind the scenes for all the stuff I'm about to start doing. The issue is it doesn't always again, the jumps between the first and second game are significant in this regard.
What is that?
It's
a stimulant pack. Okay, so because I talked about Batman's butt last time, I do want to point out that she has an excellent butt.
She does, as does Male Shepard, but we're not playing as Male Shepard.
Well, I am equal opportunity on the butt front.
Fair enough.
They're good butts. So the implication here is supposed to be that we have some atmospheric stuff, which I like. In terms of the fact that they're wearing helmets.
Well, it's
for
also,
once,
but they're also not wearing helmets that have a bottom part to the face. As you can see, open air.
Ah, I didn't notice that.
It's just a combat helmet.
That's stupid.
It's just a combat helmet. You get some saner stuff later on in the game.
Well, and I think that's one of the interesting things because we've seen one alien so far. Oh, there's a person.
Yep.
Wait, you can talk to it? It's a corpse.
No, you can talk to one of your teammates.
Oh.
Oh god, the graphics were bad back then. As was the frame rate.
Guys, her lips are so bad.
And the screen tearing.
Whoa! No,
he
Jenkins!
might as well have been wearing a red shirt.
I was about to say, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain red shirts, but I will.
You might as well.
To red shirt somebody or to be a red shirt refers to a trend in Star Trek, the original series, which is not actually mathematically true. Somebody did some really interesting studies where they counted the amount of fatalities in Star Trek, both TOS and in TNG. And it turns out that though they are security personnel, you will also see many command people die in Command Gold. But the idea was that usually when our heroes go down to a planet, there will be one or two extra people in security/engineering red shirts. And they very quickly die.
He even lost his face mask in his death.
You're at a chance.
We can't help him now.
Sometimes Marines die. The rest of us just have to carry on. We still have to find that beacon.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
So talk briefly about the combat since now you've seen a little bit of it. There is a whole fancy cover system in this game that I will probably never use because it does not work well.
I'm hoping that improves later.
I'll say it again, this may be a running gag of this one. Many of the improvements made from the first game to the second game are graphics and gameplay. I am forever thankful that the first one came out because the first one's a pretty good game and it tells the best story in some regards. It also feels the most RPG-ish. For what it is, though, the second game's a better game and in my mind is the best one of the series. Just why I've played it more than the other two, or other three, I guess, technically. Other two that aren't it. Wow, I'm just rambling on that one. But this one, as I kind of briefly hinted at, has some RPG doing action issues, which we will come across at a later point.
Oh dear. Okay. That's a really weird way to kill someone.
It gets explained, don't worry.
I don't have time to talk. Actually, I have to kill some aliens.
Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, ma'am?
What happened here?
Give me a status report, Williams. Oh, man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Fighting these things?
Any idea what kind of enemy we're facing? I think they're Geth.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
Take us there.
You're coming with us, Williams. We need that beacon. Aye, aye, ma'am. It's time for payback.
Let's go.
Move out!
I'm already shipping them, and I'm really sad that they can't make out.
So I guess I'll ruin some things as this game goes on. When this game was originally pitched, there's a romance system in this game, which we'll get into once all options are on the table and stuff like that. But when it was initially pitched, a driving idea was all of the romance options are open to all characters. And you may have seen this as published by EA. EA was not totally comfortable with that option, so they neutered the initial game a little bit. And as time goes on, more and more romance options get opened up in the games progressively.
I was gonna say, one of the few things I knew about Mass Effect before I knew about any shooter games at all, really, was that it had, because I knew about
Fox News hates it.
that Fox News hates it because it does have a queer component to it, which is very cool. I do want to comment though on the alien design that we're seeing a little bit here, because not only do now that we have two women talking to each other about something other than a man, awesome. Bechdel test passed. That's super cool. The women's body models are the same, but so are all the aliens.
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It
not
must have
for
been
long.
moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
Any survivors?
You think anyone got out of here alive? If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Ooh, yep. Mass Effect 1.
Plan, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out. I'll
So,
wait for you there.
to Lil's point, as the games actually progress, the alien designs do get a little less human. If you had noticed, Nihilus or Saturnian, their knees actually bend the opposite direction,
Looks like
and they
they
are a
hit the
tad
camp
more
hard.
reptilian in some nature.
It's a good place.
Nihilus is a weird character where they're kind of rushing him at this point. And stuff does get more alien as the game progresses.
Oh god, they're
And
still alive.
that's why you impale people on spikes.
What did the Geth do to them?
So we got some space zombie action going on here. Oh dear. That's definitely some space zombie action.
God, it's so bad at this point in the game.
But yeah, I think one of the interesting things about sort of the history of science fiction in general, and when we do extraterrestrials, is that in speculative fiction, you get, and in prose especially, you get a lot of really interesting conceptual ideas about what alien life would look like just from an evolutionary perspective, but especially in any visual media. Executing those ideas becomes very, very complicated. I mean, the easy example, I'm going to go back to Star Trek again, is that when you make...
Humans, thank the Maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
So, I'm actually going to make these decisions for you, because there's
How
a
did you end up in this shed?
We hid
really
here during
funny
the attack.
possible
They
outcome.
must have come here for the beacon. Luckily, it wasn't here. It was moved to the spaceport earlier this morning. Manuel and I stayed behind to pack up
It
the
also
camp.
paints a pretty dynamic
When the
picture of just
attack
how
came, the
far they
Marines
went
held
in
them
both
off long enough for us
directions
to hide.
for the Shepard character.
They gave their lives to
That
save
was a
us.
really bad eye
We're
glitch just
saved.
now.
Yep.
The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
I saw him, the prophet, leader of the enemy. He was here before the attack.
Wow,
So,
you're creepy.
Little hint.
Impossible. Nihilus was with us in the Normandy before the attack. He couldn't have been here.
I'm sorry, Manuel's still a bit unsettled. We haven't seen your Turian. We've been hiding in here since the attack.
What else can you tell me about the attack?
It all happened so fast. 1 second we were gathering up our equipment. The next we were hiding in the shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp.
Agents of the destroyers, bringers of darkness, heralds of our extinction.
We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network, remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Miraculous new technologies, groundbreaking medical advances. Who knows what secrets are locked inside?
We have unearthed the heart of evil, awakened the beast, unleashed the darkness.
Manuel, please.
Wow, his eyes are
this isn't
freaking
the
out.
time.
It's in
What's wrong with your
character. He's
assistant?
Renfielding right now.
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my god! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You can't just go around whacking people in the head.
He's better.
It was only a matter of time till he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
So for those playing along at
Williams,
home, if you
take us to the
don't
spaceport.
do that,
Good luck.
she doesn't show up later. And if you do that, she does show up because Manuel does indeed do something crazy while they're waiting for the meds to kick in. Not an important thing, but if you keep track of what happens later on in the game, you'll notice that a couple of these characters we save or interact with show up in other parts of the game.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I always thought so. And more importantly, they occasionally won't show up in another part of a game until, like, the third game, where they're like, hanging around in a refugee camp or something like that.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We always end up talking about Lovecraft in these things.
We do.
So if you guys are just joining us for the first time, oh, there's our Turian.
Nihilus. And you may note there's a second Turian.
Saren. Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
I wasn't expecting to find the gate.
A fun game to play is
situation's bad.
watch as Saren's
I've got it under
left
control.
arm drastically changes throughout the game in size.
As a meta thing, or
No, literally like the model for it's inconsistent, and the arm will grow and shrink in the same cutscene. It's just a weird thing someone told me about once, and I played through the game again and noticed it just randomly grows and shrinks.